Hello and welcome to Dr. T's Math. In this video I'm going to convert between fractions and decimals and show how to find least common denominators by going alpha y equals, and then we can enter in fraction form. So there we are, 1, say 1 arrow down, 3 arrow right, plus, we've got to go alpha y equals again to get that fraction form, to go 1 arrow down, 4 arrow right, plus alpha y equals again. Each time you enter a fraction you have to go back to that alpha y equals. And then when you want to move to the denominator, you got to press down arrow and then right to get out of that. And so here we are, 1/3 plus 1/4 plus 1/5 is 47/60. And say maybe we got an answer in decimal form, 1.25. Now, of course, I think we know that's 5/4 or 1 1/4, but maybe not. Just want to check. So we've got a decimal there. We've got to go alpha y equals. And down at number 4, you see that little arrow, F to D. That's going to convert a fraction to decimal or a decimal to fraction. And so I'll press enter, and I get 5/4. Not too controversial there. How about we'll enter in 5/4, and we want to know what is 5/4 in a mixed number, because that's a top-heavy fraction or an improper fraction. And so I enter in 5/4, go back to alpha y equals, and then number 3 says converts an improper fraction to a mixed number or a mixed number to improper fraction. And so we'll press enter, and I get 1 1/4, right? I could also do 1 1/4, 1 and, no, it's not going to let me do that. How do I enter? There we are. Number 2 is going to let me enter a mixed number. And so you see this little template. So I'm going to press 1 and then arrow right to the numerator, and 1 arrow down to the denominator, quarter, arrow right to get out of there. And then I'm going to go alpha y equals again, and back to number 3 to convert to mixed number, to convert to the other form. Oops. And we're going to get, well, so did they lie to us? Number 3 says converts an improper fraction to a mixed number or a mixed number to an improper fraction. However, sometimes these calculators have mild errors in them. And so I don't see that it did just that. So if we want to convert to a mixed number, well, then we might be out of luck. Let's go on to the second thing that I wanted to talk about, which is what is a least common denominator. So we had 1/3 plus 1/4 plus 1/5. Well, the least common denominator is just the the least common multiple, the lowest common multiple of the denominators. So if we want to look at 3, 4, and 5, those denominators there, and find the lowest common multiple, then we're going to go math, and then number in the menu, and number 8, which is LCM, least common multiple. And we're just going to enter those numbers, 3, 4, and 5, and it's going to be 60, of course. Now for other numbers, it's not always so intuitive. 3, 4, and 5, we could draw up a table of values, starting at 3. So we're going to get 3, and then we're going to go 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30, 33, 36, 39, 42, 45, 48, 51, 54, 57, and 60 finally. And then for 4s, we're going to get 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, 40, 44, 48, 52, 56, and 60. And finally, for 5, we got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. And we can see that the first time all 3 of these numbers have a common multiple is at 60. That's what the lowest common multiple is. And so back to our calculator, it just does it faster. You don't have to write out all of the multiples of these numbers. And so since we have that up, let's look at, well, 60 divided by 3 is, of course, 20. 60 divided by 4 is 15. 60 divided by 5 is 12. And what that means is the greatest common factor, so back to math and, sorry, the greatest common divisor, or the greatest common factor, same thing. Back to math number 9, GCD, and we're going to put in 60, comma, 3, 4, 5. The greatest common factor of all these numbers is 1, right? And so if the greatest common factor or the greatest common divisor of a number, a divisor, and then all of the factors, right? So it says dividend and divisor. Sorry, of a dividend, 60, and then divisor, 3, 4, and 5. If the greatest common divisor or factor is 1, well then that's the lowest common multiple of all three of those, which also means that it's modulo 0. Modulo is basically like, think about a clock, right? A clock is going to go around in circles, and each time it goes around in circles, when the minute hand is facing up to the 12, then it's gone around one full rotation. And that's very similar to, say, if we're dividing 4 by 4. Well, you know, we're going to get remainders of 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then it's going to go around in circles again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. What I mean by that is, get out our handy dandy pencil. So what I mean by that is, if we divide 1 by 4, this is, well, let's start with 5. We're going to divide 5 by 4, and we're going to get 1R1. If we divide 6 by 4, we're going to get 1R2. If we divide 7 by 4, we're going to get 1R3. And then if we divide 8 by 4, we're going to get 2R0. And then we can go around the cycle again. 9 divided by 4 is equal to 2R1. And then 10 divided by 4 is 2R2. 11 divided by 4 is 2R3. 12 divided by 4 is 3R0. And so we've got this cycle going for all multiples of any number, or anytime we divide a whole number by another whole number. We're going to get remainders, 1, 2, 3, and then 0. So it goes around to each of those remainders and then comes back to that starting point. That's a modulo. If you want to think about a clock, that's kind of where we are. It's good for computer stuff. If we want to find out what the remainder is, right? How many bit packet, you know, like if we have a huge number and we want to send in this many packets, well then how many are going to be left over? So if we got 60, back to our 60, and then 3, well, of course, that's going to be mod 0 here because it's 20R0. And if we want to divide that by 4, similarly, we're going to get mod 0. 60 mod 4 equals 0, means there's a remainder of 0 because it's 15 times 4. And if we had 5, then we're going to get 60 mod 5 is equal to 0 because that's a remainder of 0. So that's the modulo function, which is also in the calculator here, except it's not called modulo. You go into math and look at remainder, number 0, dividend and divisor, math number. And so we're going to get 60. These are just simple examples for today. 60 and 3, we get remainder of 0. Same thing, math, remainder. 60, 4, remainder of 0, as we know. And then 60 and 5, remainder of 0. So that's a modulo function. That's kind of a pure math, higher level idea, but it's the same as what's the remainder if you divide a number by another number, what's the remainder? All right, well, so we have worked in some fractions to decimals, decimals to fractions, with alpha y equals, and then putting things into fraction form, 1/5, or if we want to enter things into the calculator in fraction form, then again alpha y equals, and we just make sure you're arrowing down, in which case you don't have to try to figure out the least common denominator. And for some fractions, that's helpful, you know. Like if we don't want to think about the least common multiples of 5 and 13, or larger numbers, more prime numbers, more awkward numbers like 17 and 19 and things like that, then this is a good option. Or if we're not ready to draw the tables of multiples of numbers like I have in this first screen here. Calculator helps to save time and increases our chance of getting the right answer. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.